During our freedom struggle, no matter where Mahatma Gandhi went, thousands upon thousands of people would gather just to hear him speak. How? There was no social media at that time. Newspapers were there, but the literacy rate was 12%. People could not read. Then how, and above all, why did they gather on the same day, at the right place, at the exact right time? Why did Martin Luther King lead the civil rights movement in America? He was not the only one to suffer oppression in pre-civil rights America, and certainly he was not the only great orator of the day. Then why him? Because as Simon Sinek explained 15 years ago, we, all the people in the world, know what they do. Some know how they do it, but a very few know exactly why they do it, and that makes all the difference in the world. All the successful people in the world did what they believed. They had a why to their what. And people don't follow what you do, people follow why you do it. That is why people adored Gandhi and Bhagat Singh. Gandhi gave them a why. People found out the how and the what for themselves. That is why Martin Luther King led the civil rights movement in America. And by the way, that is also why he gave the I have a dream speech and not I have a plan speech. And on the other side of the world, there are us, morons. People who plan and plan and plan. Tomorrow, I'll get up at 6. No, 5 o'clock in the morning, I'll brush my teeth for 15 minutes, I will go for a walk, and then I will study from 7 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. And in the evening, yaar, kal se na pakka padunga. Anyways, what I'm saying is that 80,000 hours. That is the number of hours in our work life. And in the words of Steve Jobs, the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. But the one question that comes up again and again is that, okay, passion is fine. I like painting, I might like stand-up comedy, but what about money? And I totally agree. Money definitely is important. But you know what? Many decades ago, there was a young child in London. His father was in prison and his mother had to work. So definitely he was sent to work in a factory in spite of trying. But this young boy wanted to become a writer. But he had so little confidence in his ability to write that he mailed his first manuscript in the dead of the night so that nobody would laugh at him. Article after article was rejected, and when finally one was selected, he was so happy that he started dancing and crying on the streets like a mad person, even though he was not paid even 1 single rupee for that. And that young boy grew up to become Charles Dickens, the author of novels like Oliver Twist and Great Expectations. Money definitely is important. But the good thing about money is that you don't have to follow money. Money will follow you once you follow your purpose. And by the way, the study at the university which produced 7 Nobel Prize winners in economics, the study which has been repeated again and again for 40 years, proves that working for money actually decreases your chances of success. That is why Wikipedia, which does not pay its writers a single rupee, wins when the companies like Microsoft, who pay millions and millions, fail. Why? Because you work for what you believe. We work for the why and not the what. That is why if you want to do something, if you like to do something, you find a way. If you don't want to, you just find an excuse. And no, I'm not just stating this study. I have proof. How many of you have heard of Simon Langley? No problem, because even I did not hear of him. But have you heard of Wright brothers who made the first airplane? Yes? Samuel Peacock Langley had the perfect recipe for success. The government gave him $50,000 to build the first airplane. He had on his team the best brains that money could buy, and the public were praying for his success like we are praying for Neeraj Chopra right now. And the Wright brothers had none of that. They had to pay for their dreams from the proceeds of the bicycle shop. Forget about the people on their team. They themselves never went to college, and the public didn't care. In fact, we came to know about their first flight only after a week that they had taken the first flight. And still they won. How? Frankly, how doesn't matter, because they had a why. In fact, there are stories about how they would go out in the morning with 5 spare parts because that was how many times they would crash before coming in at night. The people who worked for the Wright brothers worked for them with their blood and sweat and tears, and those with Langley worked for their salaries. But you might question, how do I know that they work for their salaries and not for their passion? Maybe they just got unlucky. I know because the day he heard that the Wright brothers had taken the first flight, Langley quit. He quit because he could not be the first. And tell me honestly, did ISRO refuse to launch the Chandrayaan 2 just because we are not the first one to land on the moon? No, right? Doing something which you don't care about is called stress. Doing something which you love is called passion. And why is passion important at all? Because today we don't need a well-filled mind. You all can always Google what you want. What we need is a well-formed mind. Thank you.